The time has come in boxing to give people their credit and their just due. And I have been looking for an opportunity to speak on this gentleman for a minute. So this video, I'm going to talk a little bit about the coach and trainer, Derrick James. We know him from working with two of the best fighters in the welterweight and junior middleweight divisions in Errol Spence Jr. and Jamel Charlo. I always get the brothers mixed up when I start talking about them. But these two fighters have anchored what he has been producing in the sport of boxing, which has led him to become the current trainer of the year and be so effective in his impact with working with fighters. So as we talk about Mr. James, we have to really give credit to what he's doing and what's being shown by his work. Let's speak on him a little bit more. I had been looking to do a little piece of work on Coach Derrick James for a while, and there has been no better time than the present, because there's an article out regarding a decision that he has made recently, and the article is from Boxing Scene. It was released earlier today. And it states that Derrick James says he will retire with his current core of fighters that he's working with, and he won't train new fighters. I'm impressed by that. The reason being that he can focus in on the talents that he has around him presently, and because primarily each of those individuals are all different character personalities, physical specimen, and also athletic makeup. So this will give him a chance to work exclusively with this group of fighters, a crop that anyone would be well within their right to say, hey, I would love to have that guy. So we're going to consider this video locked, stocked, and smoking barrels. Yeah, because Derrick James is doing some good things in the sport of boxing, and I feel like he doesn't get enough of the credit that he really truly deserves. Now, everyone has known that he has worked with Errol Spence Jr., and the Spence family had approached him about working with Errol, and it was a business decision that was made early on, and it has proven quite successful. There's nothing wrong with a person who sets their sights on trying to do something exclusive and then having success out of it, and then hunkering down to dig deeper to get more embedded in accomplishment. And we're seeing that with what's happening out of James's camps. Now, when we talk about the background of Mr. James, you know, he had a professional fighting career himself, and he had some success in his career, finishing his professional career in the super middleweight division with a record of 21-7 and 1 draw. He had 12 knockouts, and he won his last fight in May of 2008, and it was a 3rd round TKO victory over Martin Verdon. The fact that Derrick has hung around the sport and taken what he has experienced in his own personal career and start helping young fighters improve to become their best with eyes toward becoming world titleists themselves is a respectable notion. Quite respectable. Because oftentimes fighters need something to shoot for. And when they have an influence that is very positive and he catches them early, that can rub off on a fighter. And we're seeing that. The whole point of having a great mentor is to be able to understand that whatever lessons that are coming down that pipe are going to fortify you in some way. But if the mentor is special, if he's really accomplished, what they will be able to do is refine what you have to offer, cultivate your character and your spirit and your psychology, and also elevate the talent that may be there. Even if the talent is minimal, but the effort and heart and desire is there, developing those aspects of a protege will make them the best that they can be. And there has to be a reciprocated process of trust. Both the trainer, mentor, coach in his charge, and the charge having it in the trainer, mentor, coach. So as we go forward and we see what's happening in Mr. James's career, we've seen guys whose names are starting to be prominent outside of Charlo and Spence. And the fact that he came out and spoke in that article today, or the article that was released today, about this is going to be pretty much his solid group and core. It lets you know that he doesn't want to spread himself too thin because of what he has to offer. He can't deal with a multitude in that regard. One of the things about Emanuel Stewart was when he got to be very prominent in the sport, there was riffraff from time to time and dissension because he just couldn't spread himself thin enough with all of the people, the talent that he was working with. But then when he worked with people, he was still charging like he was like there all the time and things of that nature. Sometimes smaller classrooms can accomplish a greater deal of feats. So the article goes on to say, reigning trainer of the year, Derrick James, is currently in charge of leading boxing's best stable. The Texas-based fighter turned coach trains a star-studded group that features Earl Spence Jr., Jermell Charlo, Anthony Joshua, Ryan Garcia, and Frank Martin. James links up with Joshua and Garcia. He linked up with Joshua and Garcia earlier this year, but if another top star comes knocking on the door and offers him the coaching keys to their career, don't expect the 51-year-old to oblige. No, 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 no. I'm done. I'm retiring. No more. I'm out of boxing after my guys retire. James said in an interview with BoxingScene.com. James, a professional fighter, as I stated earlier, from 1992 to 2008, will have an incredible stretch of fights coming up on his calendar. Martin will face Artem Harutadanian, I murdered that name, forgive me, July 15th. Spence will fight Terrence Bud Crawford on July 29th. Joshua is slated for a rematch against Dillian White on August 12th. And Jermell Charlo will be fighting Canelo Alvarez on September 30th in a battle between undisputed champions. The stars can be out at any given time at the world-class boxing gym in Dallas, a scene not many can often stomach, says James. I think they all feed off of each other. I think it's more about inspiration. That's the key element. To be in a room with a lot of guys who are successful, to have enough humility, said James. Now let me stop right there for one moment. I have spoke about that, haven't I, on my channel, about accountability and humility. I've used those terms specifically. And the fact that Derrick James is speaking on this, it gives me reason to smile, because these are the principles that are missing in some of these fighters of present day as they prepare to continue on in their careers. Yes, the fact that you box as a professional, you're a tough man, you have something to offer, you have aggression and spirit, and it takes heart and determination. But humility is a grounding key element, along with accountability, to be successful. Because you have to understand, in order to get forward, sometimes there may be obstacles in the way of you and obstruct you from easily going on your path. So you may have to get into problem solving. And problem solving is very important in the sport of boxing. If you can consider conflict resolution to be a part of what we're talking about here, understand that's what's important. It's very essential to a fighter. And not enough fighters are being taught the old way of that, because the development of self, the cultivation of your character, it can allow you to be successful not just in the sport that you're participating in, but you can be successful in life with family, friends, strangers. That's why boxing, when someone picks it up very early in life, say like you're a kid of 7 years old or something, there are certain principles that the old sages used to add to what you do, that when you become a man, you become a capable man. It's something that should never ever be glossed over. It's something that should be considered and respected. And see, a coach like Derrick James, I can already tell, he understands that. He understands it. So, to go on, he says, a lot of people can't take it. You see what I mean? A lot of people can't be in that type of room and work. You have to find out who you are before you walk in the room to be with a group of guys like that. Everybody gets along really well. Spence said the star fighters that he trains alongside serve as a source of inspiration for him. It's great just to have other great fighters in the gym, Spence recently said in an interview with Brian Custer on The Last Stand. It makes you stay on point, especially in sparring, when knowing that they're watching you. You try to work a little harder. See, that article will be in the description box. And to be able to talk about these things, is what my channel is all about. Primarily my show on Tuesdays, the Tuesday Tussle. I love the fact that Derrick James has taken this position as it's going to be a limited engagement, meaning that those who are in now, they're locked. His gym is currently stocked, and they're dealing with a lot of smoking barrels with these fighters, the gunslingers out there. And it's going to be an assault on the sport of boxing throughout the divisions of where these gentlemen all compete. But that's what we expect. And that's what we love when we see the best fighting the best applying their best, and the best having the best of coaches and mentors and trainers in their corner. So understand that this is what it's all about when it comes down to it at the end of the day. And a coach like Derrick James can get out there and make the most out of these guys. And each of them that are fighting, that I mentioned earlier, with matches coming up very soon, beginning this month, understand that none of them are in easy matches. He could very well come out of this with everyone having suffered a setback. Or he could come out on top in all of the matches. Or there could be a mix in between. But the whole point of it is, with the anchor like Coach James, you have someone that is so solid that they would not want to let one another down. And that's going to be a very difficult chain to break. I love the fact that Derrick James is going to focus in on whom he has in his stable right now only, and ride with that until the end. That's what it's all about. And you can bet that these men are going to take it to the wire for their coach and trainer. They're going to give the best of efforts as they go forward in their careers. I love this. And it reminds me of when Emmanuel was early on with his camp of guys like Hearns and Kenty and Obakar and all of those guys. It was like an amazing thing to see. So I wish them all the success, and I want to see them continue to be their best. But what do you think? This is Stormy B-Man. Shout out to the mighty LDBC and Liberated Perspective, a third eye view of the world. For more content such as this, please like, comment, subscribe, and share. Let me know about James focusing in on just this current flock of fighters that he has, and then after that, he'll say sayonara. I respect it. You should too. Peace to everyone out there, and everyone please remain safe.